स्वागतं नमस्कारः। अद्य बुधवासरः दिनाङ्कः 11। Today is Wednesday, Jan 11. This is the व्याकरण विभागः तद्धित प्रकरणं प्रथमतः मङ्गलाचरणं। रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते, रामं रमेशं भजे, रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमू, रामाय तस्मै नमः। रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं, रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं, रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो, राम मामुद्धर। राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे, सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने, श्रीराम नाम वरानन उन्नम इति. Okay, now last time we were talking about this sannyas called Gotrapatyam, Yuvapatyam. But before we get into that, I just want to make a couple of corrections from last time. Firstly, there was a typo in this when we were deriving this word samajikaha. Samajikaha, we derived in a couple of ways. If you recall that, samajikaha, we did it by one sutram, we did it. It was back here, samajikaha. One was by the sutram rakshati, one who protects the samaja. Samajam rakshati iti samajika. Look at the number 4433. I think we mentioned last time that this in 4.4, what is given in 4.4 is really these two pratyas, thak and yat. Thak and yat are the two pratyas given. So if you look at 4.4, it starts with, that's called the thak yak padaha. It's thak and yak, because this pragvatesh thak, that starts from 411, and then from 4475 starts this praghitad yat. So that covers, and that praghitad will go up to the end of, if you look at 551, is prakrita chaha kambalat and tasmai hitam. So basically that 4475 yat goes up to 5 dot, end of 4.4, beginning of 5.1. And right now we are looking at the sutram rakshati. So that's the trick of this tadhita, is to get these, pratyay vidayaka sutrani and the artha vidayaka sutrani and make the proper connection between them. That is the trick of the tadhita adhikara, because you will not find, all 2-3 ingredients in one sutram. Generally speaking, you will not have the prakriti and the pratyaha and the artha nirdesha all in one place. You have to connect them together. So if not, because Panini cannot give you all three in one place, all of them, because there will be common sharing among them. The pratyaya will be shared among different sutras, the artha will be shared, and so on and so forth. So anyway, so right now when we did the form rakshati, we are looking at 4433. All I'm telling you is that looking at this number 4433, we should be able to know pratyaya is going to be thak. So that was one way we did that, because this goes up to 4, as I said, from 441 up to 441 up to 4474. Right before the praghita yat. So from here starts, from 441 starts pragbhatesh thak. And then the other way which we derived, the other way when that's where I had the typo, was that we said this is samavayan samavaiti. Again the same, in this it's in 4443, it's in the thak adhikara. So, and there we were talking about what is this word samavayan. So, and samavaiti. So it is sam ava plus in gatau. And we had the commentary there. Iha samava purvasyeno varthaha pravishyaika deshi bhavanam. Which means he's someone who comes, having entered, he enters and becomes a part of it. Means he assimilates in that. One who assimilates in society is there. And there I had the typo there. I had pravishya. So it should be pravishya ekadeshi bhavanam. So pravishya. So that was one typo here. I had pra by mistake over here. It should be pravishya. The second thing I want to clarify of this adhika, so that let me just take that off of this notes over here. Okay, so we should be pravishya, not pravishya. So let me take that off. And then the second thing is that when we did a sutram sheshe, this adhikara of sheshe needs to be clearly understood. It's a bit of a confusing concept. First of all, how do you need the adhikara and what things does it do? Now, two things which we mentioned in the product. I want to add one more thing to that, which I should have mentioned before. I think I did not mention that. So let's go to Sutram Sheshe for 1 second. It came, I think, 2 classes back. It came 2 classes back. And at that time, when we were talking about Sheshe, let me see if I can find it over here. Jataha. Okay. Okay, Sheshe. Apatyadi chaturarthyantad anyo arthaha sheshaha. What does that mean? From starting with the Sutram Tasyapatyam, again Artha, we're talking about which meaning the Pratyas are coming in now. So the first meaning which Panini gives in the Tadhita Prakaranam is Tasyapatyam, which we have been looking at. Again, the book, what has happened is that he has grouped them according to the Pratyaya, not according to Artha. So we're trying to kind of mix and match over here. We're trying to see what the book has given according to Pratyaya order, and then we are taking the meaning order in the Ashtadhyaya. For example, Ashtadhyaya Tasyapatyam is in one section. But here what has happened in the book is that, as you can see, here itself he gives Apatyam in An also, and then again Apatyam in Thak also, and then again Apatyam in Dhak also, and then again descendant in Yai also. So all 4 given, the Tasyapatyam comes over here. So that's why we are, jumping back and forth, so to speak, because we have to keep coming back to the Adhikara of Tasyapatyam in each of these, in addition to some of the other meanings that he has given. Anyway, so coming back to Sheshe now, what we said was that from this Artha of Tasyapatyam, we start from 4192. From 4192 starts Tasyapatyam, 4192 Tasyapatyam. And then we go on, and Panini gives different meanings. That Tasyapatyam goes to the end of 4.1. Really, the way to master this Prakaranam, well, like in anything in Ashtadhyaya, particularly here, there is really the way to do it is to keep these adhikaras in your, try to get a grasp of the adhikaras and see which meaning will fit. And even in Siddhanta Kaumudi, for the most part, Bhattoji only follows the Ashtadhyaya order only for the most part. In Tadhita section, that's how it works. So, and then Sheshe starts from 4292 starts Sheshe. But there, the last meaning given there means in which meaning pratyas can be used, and there is a set of, what's called Chaturarthi. Chaturanam Arthanam Samahara Chaturarthi. And that is this one here. Tadasminnasti iti deshe tannamni, and then tena nirvrittam tasya nivasa adura bhavascha. So this this set of 4 meaning, which are the last 4 meanings before the Sheshadhikara, that's called Chaturarthi. That's not in the book right now, so we are not discussing that in detail. But that is what is meant by Chaturarthyantam. Chaturarthyantam, because we start from Tasyapatyam 4192 and down to this one, which continues up to right before the Sheshes 492. Now, okay, so we talked about that. So Apatyadi Chaturarthiyantad Anyo Artha Sheshaha. Shesha means remaining meanings, which have not been covered in the meanings from Tasyapatyam up to Chaturarthi. Of course, I mean, before Chaturarthi comes other meanings also. Chaturarthi is not the only meaning, because here comes, once the Apatyam, Tasyapatyam is in 4.1, then comes Tena Raktam Ragat, and all these meanings come after that. I think Tasya Samuha will come somewhere here. So these different meanings, let me see if I can find that one for you. Tasya Samuha, it should be somewhere here. Agner Dhak, Tasya Samuha. Let's see if there should be somewhere here. I know there's one of the meaning which comes earlier in the. Let's go step by step. Raktam Raga, Samshritam Bhaksha. This was a meaning. Samshritam Bhaksha is another meaning. Again, the book has given in very short, so these are not covered in the. Then we did the Sasya Devata. We covered in the class Sasya Devata. We talked about that. And then Agner Dhak Tasya Samuha, here it is. Tasya Samuha is 4-30. So anyway, these variety of meanings come in 4.2, and then finally means before the Shesha Adhikara comes this set of 4. The set of 4, which is this Tadasminnastiti Deshe Tannamni Tena Nirvrittam Tasya Nivasa Dura Bhavascha. Okay, so any other meaning other than these meanings from Tasyapatyam up to Chaturarthi is called Sheshaha. So that is what this Tatra Anadayaha Syuhu. Anadayaha. What happens is that, Panini had set the default pratyaha, starting with an, pragdivyato an, which we're talking. Now we're talking about the pratyaha now. Pratyaha, Panini started pragdivyato an from back here, pragdivyato an. But then an had its apavadas also. Pratyaya, the nyaha pratyaya was given, pratyaya nya was given, pratyaya ai was given, then nai and stai were given, and look was given here. So these are apavadas for an. So these are these pratyas which can come. So basically an along with some of its apavadas, they will also come in any miscellaneous meaning. So basically, if any meaning is not covered in the Ashtadhyaya, in this Tadrisa Prakranam, then what will happen is that in all those miscellaneous meanings, an will come as a default pratyaya. So that is one function of Shesha Adhikara. One function is that is to enable an to come in any miscellaneous meanings, and an, of course, an may be overruled by its apavadas which are given in this small section over here. So these over here. Now, so this is an, this pragdivyato an, along with some of its apavadas. So they will come in any meaning which is not covered explicitly. So this is a prakranam, and we talked about that. He says that chakshusha griyate chakshusham rupam. Now there is no sutram specifically which says, tena griyate, something like that is not there. So now in this case we use the pratyaya an, because nothing is overruling an. Among none of these over here, none of these are going to be overruling an in this particular case. So basically an is coming here. So this is one function of sheshe, is to prescribe the pratyaya an and its apavadas which are in this section, to in the case of any miscellaneous meaning which is not covered. That's one function. And he said drishadi pishta darshadaha saktavaha. So all these, this is barley which is pounded in stones is called, darshadaha saktavaha. So, and all this saktu. So these are there's no sutram there's no meaning which is going to ashtadya for this one. But so then we use the pratyaya an, the default an is over used. He says sheshe iti lakshanam. Lakshanam means that anovidhayakam, which pratyaya an we just talked about, and adhikarascha. Now why do we need adhikara also? So it's not only it's a vidhi sutram, it's also an adhikara sutram. Adhikara sutram means what? That the adhikara of sheshe goes up to tasya vikara, which is 43134. The adhikara of sheshe goes from 4292 up to 43. So it's from 4292 sheshe, from here 4292 sheshe, it goes up to 43130, and right before tasya vikara, which I think is 43134. So up to 43133 comes sheshe. What that means is that these pratyaya which were set for the shesha adhikara, starting from 4293, Rashtravar Parad Gakhau, this one, all the way up to right before the Tatrajataha, right before that. So from 4293 up to this one, 4324, Vibhasha Sistis Sutram, all these pratyas are valid for the Shesha Adhikara. So I hope I'm making some sense. The Shesha Adhikara means, so Shesha is not only a Vidhi Sutram, it's also Adhikara Sutram. It's a Vidhi Sutram because in all miscellaneous meanings which are not covered, we can use an as a default. And second thing is that it's also Adhikara Sutram because all these pratyas which are set for the Shesha Adhikara, starting from 4293 up to 4324, they will be valid only for the Shesha Adhikara, which, as you said, goes up to 43133, right before Tasya Vikaraha. There's one more thing about Shesha which I forgot to mention, which I want to make, which is basically how I started this whole thing again today. And that is that if you look at a sutram like here, Tasyedam 43120, which comes in the Shesha Adhikara, means something which belongs to that, Tasyedam. So now this is a very general sutram, Tasyedam. So that Tasyedam could include a lot of, there could be an overlap, for example, between Tasyedam and some meaning which has come before Shesha Adhikara. For example, we had Tasyapatyam. Now, Tasyedam and Tasyapatyam have an overlap. If you say Dashrathasya, but you can say Dashrathasya Apatya Puman Ramaha Dashratihi. Now what's happening is that there is a because in a sentence like Dasharathasya apatyam puman dasharatihi Ramaha. Now we could think of applying two rules. We could think of tasyedam because he is Dasharatha's son, Sri Ramaha. We can also think of tasya apatyam because apatyam is there. When such a situation occurs, then we cannot use tasyedam. We have to give priority because the adhikara sheshe says only in the remaining meanings not covered prior to sheshe. If tasyapatyam is a arthavidayaka sutram which is coming before sheshe, that will take priority, and this tasyedam cannot, because tasyedam is the sheshe adhikara. So tasyedam being the sheshe adhikara, it can only apply in the miscellaneous meaning which are not covered prior to sheshe. So if you say Dasharathasya apatyam puman Shri Ramaha dasharathihi, even though tasyedam technically is valid, it can apply. But in this particular situation, it will not apply because the apatyartha which is given by 4192 tasyapatyam is coming before sheshe. So that will. So that's the third significance of sheshe. So anyway, for this class, I think this much is enough. So the three things one more time is that first thing is that sheshe prescribes the pratyaya an as a default in any miscellaneous meaning not covered. Second thing is that sheshe is an adhikaraha which runs from 4292 up to 43133 right before tasya vikaraha which is 43134, which means that all the pratyas which were given as defaults in the shesha adhikara, they are only valid for this adhikara. The third thing is that if there is an overlap between a meaning given in shesha like tasyedam and a meaning which came prior to sheshe like tasyapatyam, both have tasya. If there is an overlap, then sheshe has to wait. It has to give preference to which was coming prior. That's the third significance of sheshe. They can only be used in the meaning which were not covered earlier. So that third significance I did not mention in the class, I just want to cover that today, is that when you say tasyedam, if you say Dasharathasya apatyam puman, even though tasyedam can stake a claim, since it's in sheshe, it has to give preference to tasyapatyam. So those pratyas which are given in tasyapatyam has to be used, not with this one given over here. Please give preference means what? That tasyedam has its own pratyas set over there, so they will be used now. So you will use, for example, we say Dasharathasya apatyam puman dasharatihi Ramaha. What has to happen then is that we have to use the sutram atai, which is going to come over here, which is atai is 4-1. So this one will take. Atai will come because atai was a pratyavidayaka sutram which came in the tasyapatyam adhikaraha. So that will now get will apply because dasharatihi will not get dasharatha Ramaha. So Dasharatha Rama. If you see a usage, I think in Ramayana, I think it does come someplace. Dasharatha Ramaha. Dasharathaya. Then how do you justify that then? Then what you say is that the vivaksha of the speaker at that time is not to express Sri Ramaha as the apatyam, but just to express Ramaha as one who is of Dasharatha. Then you can justify a form like Dasharatha, because then what's happening is that the tasyedam is being used from 41120 because the intention of the speaker is not to express Rama as a son of Dasharatha, but just to express Rama as someone who belongs to Dasharatha. Then you will take the tasyedam 43120, get the form Dasharatha Ramaha. If you see such a form, this is the way to justify it, that the vivaksha was not tasyapatyam. So then you can, then we can justify. Okay, so that's enough said. So three things. One more last time is that the sheshe is a vidhi sutram which prescribes the pratyaya and in all miscellaneous meanings. Second thing is an adhikara which runs from 4292 to 43133, which means that the pratyayas in the sheshe adhikara only run up to that point. And third thing is that sheshe means only in the remaining meanings, which means if there's an overlap with the meaning in sheshe and a prior meaning, then the prior meaning will take preference. Okay. Now, continuing with today, let's review, I think, one thing we looked at the end of last class, these sanyas. We were talking about this Gotra sanya, and the Yuva Sanya. So let us look at that one more time, because that's also can be a confusing concept. How these sanyas are used. Okay, we were down here, so did the form Dakshayanaha. Okay, I think the last thing we did in last class was this Udadehe Apatyam Puman Audataha. Because what we did in last class was that we used this sutram, which was the Itashchaninyaha Ikaranta Dvyachopatye Dhaksyat Natvinyantat. And that time it says Dvyachaha. So this sutram Itashchaninyaha is 4.1.122. And I think the very prior sutram to that is, I think, Dvyachaha. So there Dvyachaha is prior sutram. So this sutram Itashchaninyaha will only apply when there are only two vowels in the Prakriti. So if you have a Prakriti like Udadhi will not use the Itashchaninyaha. We will, so the example is given here, Udadera Patyam Puman Audataha. So you will go back to the Prag Divyato and get Audataha. Okay, so now let's go back to revise these rules. Okay, now Gotra Sanya. Gotra Sanya is Apatyam Pautra Prabhuti Gotram. Fairly simple sutram. It says that when a descendant of somebody, but starting only from grandson onwards, they get the sanya of Gotram. So Apatyatvena Vivakshitam Pautradi. Of course, they have to be, the intention of the speaker has to be to express that person as a descendant, not otherwise, of course. So when the speaker wants to express somebody as a descendant of somebody, his forefather, then the descendants from grandson onwards, or grandchild I should say, grandchild onwards, is sanya of Gotram. Apatyatvena Vivakshitam Pautradi Gotasanyam Syat. And the reason why it says that why it only means when the intention of the speaker is to express that person as such, so not otherwise. It says Apatyam iti Anuvartamane Punar Apatyagrahanam Pautradinam Apatya Vivakshayam Eva Gotratva Bodhanartham. That's very straightforward sutram. Then we saw the next sutram, which says Eko Gotre. Eko, please pay attention to this because this can be confusing. Look at the number now, 4193. We're coming back to this one over here, 4193. Now we're coming back to, so Tasyapatyam start 4192, Eko Gotre 4193. So these, we are looking at this section right now, these 3-4 rules over here. Tasyapatyam. Remember one more thing, Apatyam here, even though in the language, in the spoken language, Apatyam can generally means only the immediate son or daughter. But here, Apatyam can mean any descendant. In Vyakaranam, Apatyam doesn't mean only Anantara Apatyam. It can be, Pautraha, Prapautraha, Ityadi Apigriyante. Ityadaya Apigriyante. All those are included. So, Tasyapatyam in any descendant. Then, Eko Gotre means that Gotra, which is defined down here, which we just talked about that, 41162, Apatyam Pautra Prabhuti Gotram, from grandson onwards. And then what it says, Eko Gotre, which means that all the, in Gotra only one Pratyaya will come. So from grandson onwards, all of them, they'll get only the same Pratyaya. And the Pratyaya will be applied to the Mula Purusha. So when you want to get the Gotra Patyam, there will be only one Pratyaya common to all of the people who have the Gotra Sanya. And it will be applied to the Mula Purusha. Okay, so far we are okay. And then it says that Gotra Dyunya Striyam. Okay, now we are talking about the Yuvapatyam. Yuvapatyam is what? Yuvapatyam is like a junior, basically, junior, young descendant. What does young specifically mean? Means that Jivati tu Vamshya Yuva. Jivati tu Vamshya Yuva means that when there is here it is, Vamshya Pitrado Jivati, when one of his forefathers is living. So it could be his direct father, could be a grandfather, could be great grandfather. When one of those are living, when at least one of them is living, Vamshya Pitrado Jivati, Pautrader Yadapatyam chaturthadi tad yuvasanyam eva syat. Means from the great grandson onwards, they will not get the Gotra Sanya, they will get only the Yuva Sanya. But on the condition that someone elder means someone, his father, great father, somebody is living among them. Because it says Jivati tu. This tu in the sutram says that tur avadharane. This tu is avadharane. Tena ekasanya adhikaram vinapi yuvasanyeva syat na gotra sanyeti labhyate. So basically, this is one important point. Don't forget this one is the Gotra Sanya and the Yuva Sanya don't coexist. The Yuva Sanya is an apavadaha, apavada for the Gotra Sanya. So it will not coexist with the Gotra Sanya. So the Yuva Sanya, when it comes, the Gotra Sanya is lost. So all these juniors, they will get only Yuva Sanya, not the Gotra Sanya. That's number one. There's also one more small condition here is Bhratari cha jayasi. Jyeshte Bhratari jivati kaniyan chaturthadir yuvasyat. So not only if it's father, forefather, or grandfather, somebody living, but even if his elder brother is living, still, even if his father, etc., have passed away, but if his elder brother is living, still this person will not get the Gotra Sanya. Yuva Sanya only will get Yuva Sanya. So even if his elder brother is living, still only Yuva Sanya for him, not Gotra Sanya. So it should be either elder brother or one of his father, grandfather, somebody is living, then this person, which is great grandson, we are only talking about great grandson onward now. This is all related to the Mula Purusha. When we say great grandson onwards, who's great grandson? From the Mula Purusha. So when we take Dakshaha or Gargaha or Upaguho, so then from there we count. And from there, from great grandson onwards, if either elder brother or father or grandfather, somebody is living, then only Yuva Sanya. So Bhratari cha jayasi, Jeshte Bhratari jivati, Kaniyan chaturthadihi, means great grandson on down, Yuva Syat. And then one thing which we saw last time, Gotra Yunyastriyam. This is also very important. When you want to form when you want to bring a Tadita Pratyaha in the Yuvapatya, in the sense of a somebody who is a Yuva, then you don't apply the Pratyaya to the Mula Purusha. You apply to the Gotra Patyam, to the form that you got for the Gotra Patyam. So one more time, you do not, so to form the word in the sense of Yuva Patyam, it's a two-step process. You start from the Mula Purusha first, you form the word in the sense of Gotra Patyam, and from that word you form the word for the Yuva Patyam. So very important, very important. So these two things are very important. Is the Yuva Sanya is an apavada for Gotra Sanya. They don't coexist. If you want to form a word in the sense of the Yuva Patyam, you cannot apply pratyaya directly to the Mula Purusha. You take the Mula Purusha Vachaka Shabdaha, then get the Gotra Patya Vachaka Shabdaha, and from that Shabdaha you apply pratyaya to get the Yuva Patya Vachaka Shabdaha. So that's it. Okay, let's take an example now. So, and again, coming back to Ashtadhyayi Sutras, if you want to do some homework, or in this section, we talked about this. Tasrap Tasyapatyam Eko Gotre, means Gotra, all the Gotra, they will get only one Pratyaya. Gotra Dyunyastriyam. Okay, this is not in the feminine, so leave the feminine out of it. And then, I think, in the feminine, there is no Yuva Sanya. There is no Yuva Sanya in the feminine at all. In the feminine, there is this concept of Yuva Sanya. This, in fact, it might be mentioned here somewhere. Ostriyam tu no Yuva Sanya. There is no, this concept of Yuva Sanya is not there in the feminine. So that doesn't matter. But important thing here is that Gotra Dyuni. Gotra Dyuni means that if you want to form a word in the sense of Gotra Patyam, in the sense of Yuva Patyam, to start with the Gotra Patya Vachaka Shabda. So that is what it will be. And then these sanyas were given down here in Apatyam Putra Pautra Prabhuti Gotram Jivati Tu Vamshe Yuva and Bhratari cha Jayasi. Okay, let's take an example. I think we took one example last time. The example, let's go to what we took last time. Let's look at that in detail. So we're looking at Daksha. Okay, so Daksha when we take, so dakshasya patyam puman. First of all, we have to bring the pratyaya atai, because as we said, even though prag divyaton is default, by 4195 atai is going to come. So we get the form dakshi. I mean, the steps should be by now straightforward. It's nothing really special if we just put them up here. So last time we got the form dakshihi. So dakshihi will form the same as dashrati. We did nothing special. I mean, atai, because of the chavarga panchama is an it, we get the adi vriddhi by Tatiteshvacha Mahadehe. Then usual yasyiti cha, mean yachibam yasyiti. We get the form dakshihi. So a son of Dakshas will be called dakshihi. Not only that, but in the Gotra Patyam also will be dakshihi only. There's no other special form prescribed. Okay, that reminds me is that this adhikara, this is anuvritya, so say gotre. That gotre goes from, let's look at that from from 4198 to 41111. From 4198 to 41111. The special sutras are there which will give a special pratyaya. We're going to see an example shortly in the gotre. From this 4198 gotre starts to 41111. In the case of dakshaha, there is no other special pratyaya prescribed in this section. From 4198 to 41111, they do not give any other special pratyaya for the word dakshaha. So then what happens is that the grandson of dakshaha is also dakshihi. In fact, they will all be dakshihi only, all be dakshihi. But now, when you have a great grandson of dakshaha, onwards down, with somebody elder, meaning either elder brother or his father or grandfather, somebody is living, then what happens is that we get the following. We get the because now, as I mentioned to you, the Yuva Sanya and Gota Sanya cannot coexist. So what's going to happen is that if there is a great grandson of Dakshaha who is a junior, who is a youngster means his elder is living, in that case what's going to happen is that he cannot be called Dakshi anymore. But as I mentioned to you, in the Yuva Sanya and Yuva Patye, we cannot take the Pratyajak in the Mula Purushaha. We have to now take the Dakshi, which was in the Gotra Patyam, and to Dakshi we have to apply a Pratyaha to get the meaning in the Yuva Patyam. So what happens is that Dakshasya Gotra Patyam Dakshi, that's why we got by the same Prag Divyaton. But Dakshirapatyam Yuva Dakshayanaha. Dakshayanaha. What do we use here? We use the Pratyaya Phak, because which is Dakshi plus Nyas Yayiyoshcha. Look at this number 41101. I just talked to you about that. From 4198 to 41111 is Gotre. It says Gotre yo yayiyo tadantat phaksyat. So when this pratyaya yai and e, when you sense of Gotre, then following that pratyaya phak will come. Now what this means is that even though Gotre is going on from 4198 to 41111, since we are adding a pratyaya to a prakriti, which is already in the sense of Gotra Patyam, we will end up creating a word in the sense of Yuva Patyam. Okay, this is also slightly let me go back to here. 1 second. Let me just go back to here. We go back to 4198 to 41111. We talked about all this in the book. It's not there so much detail, but this is for the last time we're going to look at this adhikara in this book. So today we'll finish it. But I just want to give you enough that if you want to, and this is very confusing at times, what is Gotra, what is Yuva, what is this, what is that. So today we'll finish it, but bear with me for about half an hour and we will do this. So Gotre start from 4198 to 41111. But what's happening is that this Yayiyoshcha and Sharad and Sharadvach and so on, these two, 41101 to 41102, those two, they are applying a pratyaha to a prakriti which is already in the sense of Gotre. So what does that mean? If they're applying a pratyaha to a prakriti which is in the sense of Gotre already, which means they're creating a word in the sense of Yuva Patyam. So one more time. Anuvritti of Gotre goes from 4198 to 41111. So these are special pratyas which are prescribed, which can only be used in the sense of Gotrapatyam, grandson onwards. But among those rules, the two rules, which is the 41101 and 41 I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. Between 41100 and 101, not those two. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to confuse you more. These two. From 41100 to 41101. These two. Haritadibhyo anyayoscha. These two. Okay, let me back up for 1 second. So in the Gotre, we start from 4198 to 41111. The two which are 41100, 101, they are applying pratyas to, because what's happening is that this Haritadi, which is 41100, Haritadi, that is a Gana which is contained inside the Gana in 41104. So 41104 is prescribing a Pratyaya to get to the Mula Purusha, which will get a word in the sense of Gotrapatyam. Once that is formed, and this Haritadi, which is in 41100, is a subset of Bidadi. So 41104 is prescribing a pratyaya ai to these words in the Bidadi Ganaha to create a word in the sense of Gotrapatyam. The Haritadi Gana is a subset of Bidadi Ganaha. So when he says Harita, when 41100 says Haritadibhyo ai, Haritadibhyo ai means that already this Haritadi is a subset of the Haritadibhyo ainyaha. Haritadibhyo anyaha. So the vritti of that is that Haritadibhyo anyantebhyo apatye phaksyat. So what that means is that this Haritadi which end in the ay pratyaya. But the ay pratyaya was given by 41104. So we already have a prakriti which is in a base which is in the sense of Gotrapatyam. So that's how we know that 41100 must be creating a word in the sense of Yuvapatyam. Okay, one more time. We have Gotre starting from 4198 to 41111. One sutram there is 41104, which has Bidadibhyo ai. A subset of Bidadi is Haritadi. And this 41100 is saying that Haritadibhyo yaha. Haritadibhyo yaha. Which means that Haritadibhya yaha. So this 41100 is taking a word Haritadi, which is ending in the ay pratyaya, which means it's already in the Gotrapatyam. It's adding a pratyaya means that we must be creating a word in the sense of Yuvapatyam. So Haritadibhyo yaha. That means that this one has to be in Yuvapatyam because the prakriti to which the pratyaya is being added is already in the sense of Gotrapatyam. Similarly down here, yoscha, these two pratyayas, yai and in, we have already created the Gotrapatyam, Gotrapatyavachaka Shabdaha. To that we are adding. So the bottom line is that 41100, 41101, these two rules, they create a word in the sense of the I'm sorry, let me go back here. Okay, so 41100 and 41101, because the pratyaya is being added to a term which is already in the sense of Gotrapatyam, we are now creating in a word in the sense of Yuvapatyam. So these are the special rules 41100, 41101, and one of them is Yai Yoscha. When we created the word Dakshi, we have used the pratyaya by Ata'i. By Ata'i we have used the pratyaya. So now we are talking about great grandson of Daksha, who is a junior, who is a youngster. Then we have to use pratyaya. Phak has to be used because 41101 says that if you have a word in the sense of Gotrapatyam, which ends in the pratyaya yai or I, then it has to take a pratyaya phak. Didn't say in which meaning, but obviously since we are adding to a Gotrapatyam, we must be creating a Yuvapatyam only. I hope I made myself clear. So if you look at the vritti, I think maybe you can understand. Look at the vritti, it says that Gotre yau yau tadantat phaksyat. So Gotre yau yau. So when yai or I are used in sense of Gotre, then following that pratyaya phak has to be used. This pratyaya obviously must be in the sense of Yuvapatyam only. Because Only Yuvapatyam is created by adding a pratyaya to Gotra Patyavachaka Shabdaha. So this has to be in Yuvapatyam. I hope you're following that. Why? Why has to be Yuvapatyam? Because down here we looked at the sutram which was Gotrad Unyastriyam. So Gotrad Unyastriyam says that when you want to create a pratyaya sense of uni, it has to be Gotrad. Gotrad. And this sutram 41101, similarly 41100 also, is prescribing a pratyaya to a prakriti which is already Gotre. So this over here says that Gotre yo yayo tadantat bhaksyat. So 41101 is applying a pratyaya to Gotrad, so it must be creating a word in the sense of uni. So then we get Dakshi plus Nyas plus Phak, and then the Phakara becomes Ayan. We talked about Sutram last time, which is Ayani, In, Iya, Phada, Khachagam, Patyadinam 712. So the once we get the meaning, everything is straightforward. The Pha becomes Ayan, and then we of course do the Kutu the Samasashta Supodhatu Padvidika Yoho Supluk, and then we apply Yachi Bham Yasyi Ticha, and then Atkupanum Yavayapi. So these steps are straightforward, but here what we are saying is that the this was an Apavada. This was why in Apavada, I shouldn't say Apavada, but this was this Sutram 4.1. How did this whole thing start? When we formed the form Atreyaha, Atrerapatyam Atreyaha, we used 4.1.1.22, and there had a condition on that was Itascha Aninyaha. Aniyaha means a pratyaya which is a prakriti which doesn't end in E. So we found a word Dakshi, which is in a sense of, which was used in a sense of Dakshasya Gotrapatyam Dakshihi. Now that Dakshi has two vowels. Everything else is satisfied. But we cannot use the sutram Itaschaninyaha because Dakshi ends in the pratyaya I. Now to give the counter example, we have to find a pratyaya which can be added to Dakshihi. Now Dakshi is in the Gotrapatyarthe. So then we have to create a Yuvapatyartha Shabdaha from that, and then we created Dakshayanaha. So when we want to create Dakshayanaha, we have to use this Yai Yoshcha 4.1.101. We cannot use this one 4.1.1.22 Atashchaninyaha because it said Anyinyaha. So this is what was given as a counter example in that sutram. Let's take one or two more examples, and maybe it will become clearer for us. Last two examples. One is let's take Gargaha. Let's take Gargaha. So when we take Gargaha, let's see. Says so. Gargasya. When we take Gargaha, when we say Gargasya Patyam, we'll get Gargihi. Just like we got Dashratihi, just like we got Dakshihi, we'll get Gargihi. We get Atai. Just like we get Dashrati, which we form, we'll get Gargihi. So son of Gargaha, try to follow the example carefully. You'll see now all the three variants, all the three forms over here. Gargasya Patyam Puman Gargihi by using Atai 4195. Okay. Now when we want to form Gargasya Gotra Patyam, we'll get Gargyaha. Gargya, look at this number 41105. It's in the section from 4198 to 111, which is in Gotre. So Garga Adibhyo Yai, straightforward sutram. Again it says Gotra Patye. So if you want to use grandson onwards of Gargaha, then we have to say Pratyaya Yai has to be used. So this is a special Pratyaya, which will be, so they will not be called Gargihi. They'll be called Gargyaha. So one more time, Gargaha is the Mula Purusha, Garga. To Garga we had Atai, like we create Dashratihi and we create Dakshihi. Same way Gargihi. So Gargi will be son of Gargaha. Gargi would have been the same form for everybody, but now comes Garga Adibhyo Yai. It says if you go Gotra Patye, we have to use Yai. So then what happens is that Garga plus Nyas plus Yai in Gotra Patye, of course Anubandha Lopaha, Supluk as usual, and then Adivriddhi Chaditeshva Chamadehe, then Yachibham Yasyiti Cha, we get the form Gargyaha. So now Gargyaha is a grandson of Gargaha, not son. So in the sense of Gotra Patye. So grandson onwards, they now got the sanya of, they got the word we want to use is Gargyaha. Gargyaha. So far we got two. We got Gargihi, who is the son of Gargaha, and Gargyaha, which is grandson onwards. Now what happens is that, by the way, similarly we get Chanakasyapatyam Chanakyaha. Chanaka we get Chanakyaha, Gotrapatyam. So Chanakyaha was somebody who was the grandson on down of Chanakaha, Chanakyaha. Similarly, Shakalasya Gotrapatyam Shakalyaha. So Shakalyaha was a grandson on down, somebody of Shakala. Yajna Valkasya Gotrapatyam Yajnavalkyaha. So you see these words are very common words, So Gotradibhyo Yai is an important sutram because you can derive this form. Remember the sense of Gotrapatye. So Chanakya was not the son of Chanakaha. He was the grandson or somebody later. Shakalya was not the son of Shakala. He was the grandson or later. So Yajnavalkya was not son of Yajnavalkya but grandson or later. Okay, that's what we have now. And then what happens is that let's just go. Okay, let's take this one thing in between here. This is just on the side. Yaya-yoshcha. Don't confuse these two rules, by the way. Don't confuse. These are very confusing rules. Okay, let's go to Ashtadhyayi for 1 second. Ashtadhyayi for 1 second. And we just looked at this form. When we form Daksha Yanaha. From Daksha Yanaha, we use Sutram 41101. Yaya-yoshcha. Okay, what I was saying is that if we have a word in the sense of Gotrapatyam, which ends in either yai or e, then following that phak has to be used. The pratyaya is going to be in the sense of Yuvapatyam only, because we are adding a pratyaya to a word in the sense of Gotrapatyam. That was yaya-yoshcha. Well, now we are looking at a sutram which is here, I'm sorry, I don't want to confuse you, but it is yaya-yoshcha. That's a completely different section, 2464. That section is familiar to us, the 2464 section of, which we use, or our rules which we use many times, which is, adhipapratibhya shapaha, look, in the look prakaranam. So that's which starts from here, which is here. So this sutram 24. So from here, anuvritti of look goes down. From this 2458, anuvritti of look goes to the end of 2.4. In this class, one thing we do all the time is to keep the Ashtadhyayi sections in front of our eyes. So this look anuvritti goes from down. And we have used sutras, all these sutras, this supodha which we use all the time over here, supodhatu prajapatikayoho. We have used adhiprapratibhya shapaha. We have used the sutram which is aviyadap supaha. We have used, then we have used jyotyadibhya shluhu. So we have used a number of rules in this section. So when you look at this number 2464, immediately you should know it is talking about a look. Pratyaya, look of the pratyaya going to happen here, because anuvritti of look goes from 2458 to the end. So what is the sutram saying? And don't confuse this sutram yaya-yoshcha. This is talking about the look of the pratyaya yai or ain under certain conditions. We will look at it in a second. Do not confuse the sutram yaya-yoshcha with the sutram yaya-yoshcha. Yaya-yoshcha we looked at just now, which was 41. That was adding a pratyaya to a term ending in yai or ing. So that was adding a pratyaya phak to them to create a word in sense of yuvapatyam. So don't confuse this yaya-yoshcha and yaya-yoshcha. Okay, what does yaya-yoshcha say? That is 2464. Gotre yad yai antam ai antancha tad avayavayor etayor luksya tatkrute bahutve natustriyam. What means that when you want to use a plural of these, when you get the word gargyaha is, as we said just now, is formed by the sutram gargadibhyo yai. It means in the sense of gotrapatyam, a grandson or somebody onwards of Gargaha. But when we want to talk of many of them, when we talk of many of them, then what happens is that in the plural, in the plural, the we are over here. Yayoscha. When we in the plural, this yay takes look. So we end up with the form gargaha in the masculine nominative plural. We don't get gargyaha. We go back to gargaha. It's also confused. So pullinge prathama bahuvachanam. So gotre yad ayyantam yanyantam ayyantancha tad avayavayor etayor luksya tatkrite bahutve natustayam. So if you want to talk of one grandson of Garga, he'll be Gargyaha. Two will be Gargyav. But if you want to talk of three or more of them, they will not be Gargyaha, they'll be Gargaha. Because what happens is that the yen pratyaya takes look. Look means no angakaram can be done on basis of that. When you do a look, nalumata angasya, you cannot do any angakaryam. So we'll go back to Gargaha. We get Gargaha. So one more time. In Ekavachanam, we'll get Gargyaha. One grandson or later of Gargaha. If there are two of them, we'll get Gargyav. That's fine. But now if there are many of them, three or more of them, Bahutve, then what happens is that we get the form Gargaha. Because the Nye Pratyaya takes look. Pratyaya takes look. So we just end up with Garga again. We get Gargaha. So Gargaha are three or more members in the sense of Gotra Pratyaya. Anyway, that's just on the side. This is not in the book. None of this is in the book. But, since it is very close, it was very simple. It's important sutram. So Gargaha. So this will be the plural form of Gargyaha. Of Gargya Prajapatikamam Gargya. And you want to form the Prathama Bahuvachanam, you will not get Gargyaha, you will get Gargaha. Because the Nye Pratyaya takes look. Okay, now this was on the side, but now Prasangikam. Now when you want to form a, we start with Gargaha, we got Gargihi as his son, we got Gargyaha as his grandson by Gargadibhyoyai, 41105. Now, when you want to form the son of Gargyaha, which means now he's the great grandson of Gargaha. And if he is a youngster, which means that someone either elder brother or his father or somebody is living, then what happens is that we use the sutram 41101 yayi yoscha. Gotre yo yayi yo. So if you have a prakriti, if you have a base, which is in the sense of gotre, which ends in the pratyaya yai or e, tadantat bhaksyat. So we get the pratyaya bhak. So now a great grandson of Gargaha, who is a youngster, he will become Gargyayanaha. Gargyayanaha. So now we have these four forms. Gargaha, we found Gargihi. Maybe you have to keep the example in your mind. Try to derive on your own for homework. Gargihi we formed by 4195 Atai. We formed Gargyaha by 41105 Gargadibhyoyai. And then we formed Gargayanaha. Gargyayanaha by 41101. And that is because we had a word Gargya which was in the sense of Gotre. It was ending in the Pratyaya Yai. Then what's happened is that this Pratyaya Phak was prescribed to it. So we get, so Gotra Grahanena Yayiyav Visheshyate, which is what I'm telling about. This Yayiyav, they're talking about the Prakriti, the base, which ends in Yai or E. They're not creating a word in the sense of Gotra Pratyam, but they're talking about adding a Pratyaya to a word which ends in the sense, which is in the sense of Gotra Pratyam, and which ends in Yai or E. So this is the confusing part over here. Maybe you can look it up again as homework for you. Is these two rules, Haritadibhyo, and then Yayiyoscha. These two are adding a pratyaya to a prakriti, which is already in the sense of Gotre. So they create a word in the sense of Yuva Patyam. So this vritti says over here, which is the Gotre yav yayav. So Gotra grahanena yayav visheshyate. So these are talking about a word in the sense of Gotra Patyam which ends in yai or e. Tadantat to yunyev ayam pratyaya. If you're adding a pratyaya to a prakriti which is already Gotre, then you must be creating a word in the sense of yuni. It cannot be anything else. But that's only when you create a yuva pratya vachaka shabda, only then you add a pratya to already a word in the sense of gotre. So the fact that this sutra is prescribing adding a pratya to a word which ends in sense of, which is already in the sense of gotre, ending in yayo, so tadanta tu yunyava ayam pratyah. Because gotra jivuni pratya bhavati iti vachanat. So then what you say? You say gargasya gotra patyam gargyaha, gargasya patyam yuva gargyayanaha. When we talk about a son of Gargyaha, which means he's a great grandson of Gargaha, and he's a youngster, then we get Gargyayanaha, because by Yai Yoshcha. So because Gargya is ending in the Pratya Yai, it's in the sense of Gotra Patyam, so that has to take the Pratya Phak. So we get Gargya plus Nyas plus Phak, and then rest of the steps are as before. That's the we form Dakshayanaha, we form Gargyayanaha. So I mean the pa becomes ayana by 712 ayane yaha purda khachagam pratyadinam. So look as usual supodhatu pratipadikayo angam gashta bhasanya and yachibham then yasiti cha gargya yana. Finally we get the nattam by atkupanum yavayepi. So we got these. So if you do for homework, start from garga, from gargihi, you get the form Gargihi by 4195 straightforward tasyapatyam atayim, and then you form Gargyaha by 41105 Gargadibhyo yain, that will Gotrapatye, and then finally from the form Gargyayanaha, which will be in the Yuvapatyam. And one last example, if you take a simple example like Upaguhu, we get Aupagavaha. This is just Pragdivyaton Tasyapatyam, so straight for Aupagavaha. In sense of Upagu, in the word Gupo, we had a special sutram Garga, because we got Gargyaha, only because we had a special sutram for one of our Garga Dibhyoyain. If we didn't have that, we would not get the form Gargyaha. We'll have Gargi only. Gotrapati will have Gargi only. But because of Garga Dibhyoyain, we got a special form in the Gotrapati, which was Gargyaha. But when we take the last example, I promise you last example, when we take Upagor Anantrapatyam Aupagavaha, Upagor Gotrapatyam Api Aupagavaha. Because this is not in the Gargadi Ganaha. There's no Gargadi Bhyo Yain coming over here. So basically, none of the rules from 4198 to 41111 apply here. So we just get again Aupagavaha. So now, but when you talk about Upagor Yuvapatyam, now what happens is that we have to start from Aupagavaha now. Because remember, when you create a Yuvapatyam Vachaka Shabdaha, you have to start from the word in the sense of Gotrapatyam. To start from you cannot go directly from Upagu to the Yuvapatyam Vachaka Shabdaha. You have to start from, first create the Aupagavaha in the sense of Gotrapatyam, then to Aupagavaha you have to add a Pratyaha. Which one will that be? Now Aupagava ends in Akaraha. So we have to use Atai. Atai has to be, because if you're starting from Aupagavaha, so one more time. Yuvapatya means you cannot go directly from the Mula Purushaha. You have to go via the Gotrapatyartha Shabdaha. So that is Aupagavaha. So if you take Aupagava, if you want to say, you have to say Aupagavasyapatyam, which is the Yuvapatyam of Upaguhu. You have to then use Atai, you get Aupagavihi. So take for second homework for you. Start from Upagu. Upagor Anantarapatyam Aupagavaha. Upagor Gotrapatyam Aupagavaha. But Upagor Yuvapatyam will be Aupagavihi. Because when you form Yuvapatyam, you have to start from Aupagava, not from Upagu. And then because Aupagava ends in the Akaraha, we have to use Atai by 4195. So if you can practice these examples, please, for homework, and then, I hope this is clear. Now, this is the last time we see Adhikara now. So let's close this Prakaranam of Tasyapati. It took a long time on this, but it is complicated. It can cause confusion. And here since it's given, we had this Tasyapatyam coming in on this page 144. We had it in this point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, point number 4. So in the book, made the correction be this Pratyaya, we just talked about that. It's even Gotrapatyam only. Because Gargadibhyo Yai, we just looked at that 41105. This is only in the sense of Gotre. Anuvritti of Gotre comes from 4198. So Chanakyaha, That's, I think, that's, it says descendant, I think. Well, I guess it's a descendant here also. Okay, but please make a note over here. This has to be only Gotrapatyam only. So son of Chanakaha will not be Chanakyaha. She'll be probably be Chanakihi. Just like son of Garga was Gargihi, only Gotrapatyam, grandson onwards, only became Gargyaha. Same thing here. Chanakyaha is not the son of Chanakaha. Shakalya is not the son of Shakalaha, and so on. Okay, so make a note over here to Gotrapatyam. Okay, final things to go. So this Adhikara now is closed. Tasyapatyam. Let's look at this last thing in this page. That is Agneyaha. Agneyaha. And that's so that sutram, by the way, is simple sutram, which is Agner Dhak. Agner Dhak. So here it is. Agner Dhak. Look at the number, please. It is 4233. 4233. So this is coming before Shesha Adhikaraha. Shesha only starts from 4292. See, now the Adhikara should be in your brain now. Is that Tadhitaha starts from 4176. Tasyapatyam starts from 4192 to end of 4.1. Shesha starts from 4292 to 43133 and 43134 Tasya Vikaraha. Then when you come to 4.4, you start the Thag Adhikaraha. That goes from 441 to 4474. From 4475 starts the Yat Adhikaraha. From 4 starts the Yat Adhikaraha. And then finally in the Antyabhage, Chaturthasya Padasya Antyabhage, at the ending we have Chandasi. Chandasi starts from 410. So that's Bhave Chandasi, like Mejjaya Cha and so on. So this just Chandasi. Okay, so now keep those sections in your mind, please. That's the best way to try to get a firm grasp on this Tadhita Adhikara. It's not easy, it takes some practice. But look at the number now, 4233, Agner Dhak. Now 4233 comes before Shesha. This coming between the Tasyapatyam Adhikara and the Shesha Adhikara. So one of this must be some other meaning other than Tasyapatyam, other than in the Shesha Adhikara. So what is happening here is that we already saw the Sutram Sasya Devata. We already saw that Sutram when we were looking at before. So when we are talking about here we have Sasya Devata. So Sasya Devata we are looking at, that's one over here. So in that Sasya Devata 4 to 24, in that section comes this Sutram of Agner Dhak. So see, Agner Dhak only gives you two pieces of the puzzle. It says the Pratyaya Dhak can be added to the Prakriti Agni. It does not say in which meaning. So for that you need to know that Agner Dhak comes in the Adhikara of Sasya Devata. Sasya Devata. So now we got all three pieces together. This is the whole thing in the Adhita. You have to get the three pieces together. And Sasya Devata goes from 24 to 35. So here comes Agner Dhak. Agner Dhak. We already saw this Sutram Sasya Devata. Sasya Devata already in the book we have looked at that when we were trying to derive the word. I think it was back here. You're trying to derive the word Vaishnavaha and Shaivaha. We are trying to use Sasya Devata. It didn't work too well at that time. But anyway, we have already seen that Sutram Sasya Devata. So now this is straightforward. It says that Agner Dhak, Agni Shabdat, Agni is Panchami Ekvachanam. Remember we are in the Adhikara of Nya Pratipadikat. So Agni Shabdat, Dhak Pratyabhavati, Sasya Devata Ityasmin Arth Vishaye. Once you get these three pieces together, the good news is that once the Angakaryam is Sukaram, generally speaking, Angakaryam is kind of straightforward. Compared to Tingantam, the Angakaryam here is straightforward. Agni Su plus Dhak, because Sasya Devata, that Sa is Pratama. Ekvachanam, let's not forget we are Adhikara of Samarthanam Prathamadva, which Kalpesh pointed out, which is Samarthanam Prathamadva, says that in this section, Samarthanam is first to do Sandhikaryam in the Prakriti, then it can express the meaning, that's called the Samarthyam, Kutasandhibhyaha, and then Kutasandhinam, then Prathamad. So because Sasya Devata, this Sa is coming first, so the Pratyaya we add to Agni, not to the other devotee, whoever it might be. So Agni will take the Pratyaya because in Sasya Devata, the Sa is mentioned first. Samarthanam Prathamadva. So from the Adhikara, Samarthanam Prathamadva, it starts from 4182. Samatharam Prathamadva. And so when we say Sasya Devata, it will be Agni, which will be taken the Pratyaya, because Sa is coming first in the Adhikara of Sasya Devata. So it's Samatharam Prathamadva. So you get Agni plus Su plus Pratyaya, Dhak, and then of course Dhak gets the A Adesha by Ayaneya Ina Yaha. Ayaneya Ina Yaha. Phadaka Chagam Pratyadinam. So Ayani, so Dasya Eyaha. And this is the Apavada for the Apavada means it's Vachana Samarthyat. We don't use Chutu. If we use Chutu, Dhakarasya Lopasyat, then there will be no point of saying Dha takes the Adesha. So we don't apply Chutu, Vachana Samarthyat. We apply 712 instead, get the Adesha. Once you do that, then it's straightforward again. The Samudaya gets the Pradipadika Sanya Krutta Samasascha Supluk. Then Kiticha, the Anurutya of Taditeshwa Chamadehe comes from 72117 by Kiticha. We do Adi Vriddhi, we get Agni plus Eya. Then our usual favorite rules, which is remember, always remember one thing is that when you add a Pratyaya, Tadita Pratyaya, the Angam will get either Sanya Bha or the Sanya Pada. There's no third possibility. So then what happens is that the Yachibham, the Yakadi Pratyaya or Ajadi, Angam gets Basanya, otherwise Padasanya. Always keep that in mind, please. Always. When Tadita Pratyaya is added, the Prakriti, the Angam is going to get Basanya or Padasanya, and accordingly you have to call the subroutine of Bhasya at the end of 6.4. You have to call the subroutine of Padasya, which starts in 8.1.16. So here Bhasanya by Yachibham, then Yasyeticha, which is Bhasanya. So Ivarnantasya Bhasanyakasya Lopasya Tadite Ikare Chapare, we get Agneya. Now Agneya is an adjective, so it means that one whose Devata is Agni. But remember, we had discussion back already when we looked at Sasya Devata. At that time, the meaning which was given in the Siddhanta Kaumudi was, let's go back there for 1 second, because we are doing the same Adhikara against Sasya Devata. We're trying to find the word Vaishnavaha and Shaivaha. We're trying to use the Sutram. So Sasya Devata. This is a long document now. Okay, Sasya Devata. Tyajyamana Dravye Uddeshya Vishesho Devata Mantrasutyacha. It means an offering made in the Yajnaha, particularly for a particular Devata. So Aindram Havihi. It's an Havihi which is offered to Indraha. Aindram Havihi. Atva, it says Aindram Mantraha. So Aindro Mantraha. It's a mantra which glorifies, which praises Indra. So these two meanings were given. So right now, when you want to use Sasya Devata, we can get only this. So Agneya will only be either a Havihi or a mantra or a Stuti, which is for Agni. So so here we are back here. This is a long document now. I'm having a problem. Okay. So okay, let me get back to where we are. We were down here. Okay, so we get the form Agneya. So Sasya Devata, only these two meanings is to be an Havihi, applied to, offered to that Devata, or a mantra or a Stuti which is praising that Devata, Agneya. And then before we go ahead, let's look in the feminine, Agneya plus Neep, because of Sutram Tidhani, because Pratyaya we're adding here is Dhak. So Tidhani. So Tidhani says that when you want to make a feminine from a Pratipadikam, before we go there, one more warning as usual, is you cannot use anything in the feminine whatsoever until it is checked out by the Adhikara of Striyam. Always, so nothing can be used in the feminine until it passes the checkpoint of Striyam. In that, the first sutram was Ajadyata Shtap. Pratyaya top would have come on top. But now we get Tidhani, so Tit Pratyaha or Dha, An, Ai, Dvaya, Sach, Dadnai, Matach, and so on. If a Pradipatika ends in one of these, and then the Pratyaya Neep has to be used, because Agneya is ending Pratyaya Dhak, so then we have to use 4115. So instead of getting the Ajadyata Shtap, we use 4115, we get the Pratyaya Neep in the feminine, and then we get Anubandalope, E, Lashakpatarantyam. And here also, don't forget this, Sriyam Adhikara is also a subset of the Swadishu. Swadishu starts from 412, the Sovjas, etc. goes to end of 5th chapter. So not only all the Tadhitas, but all Sri Pratyaya also are in the Swadi list. Why is it important? It's important because when you add a Sri Pratyaya, just like when you add a Tadhita Pratyaya, when you add Sri Pratyaya, then there also an Angam will get the Bhasanya, Padasanya, mostly Bhasanya only it will get. So here we get the Bhasanya here also. Then Yasya teacher, we get the Agneyi. So Agneyi Dishe, Agneye Namaha, right? You do Sandhya Vandanam. So Agneyi Dishe. So literally like Nadi will become Nadyai, Devyai, so Agneyi. So when you're doing a Namaskara to the Agneyi Dik. So now, but now wait a minute. We just talked about that this form Sasya Devata can only be used in the sense of a Havihi, an offering to that Devata or a mantra or stuti. Then how we talk about Agneyi Dik now? We're not offering a direction to that Devata. It's not like we're offering the, the northeast, southeast, correct, southeast. We're not offering southeast to Agni. Then how can we use that now? There is a Vartikam on there now. Vartikam says that is Vartikam under 4233, also comes under 428. It says that Pragdivyateshu tadhitartheshu sarvatra Agni kalibhyam dhak vyaktavyaha. So even though the Agnir dhak is coming in the section of Sasya Devata, so not technically, to start with, the Pratyaya dhak can be used from added to Agni only in the sense of Sasya Devata, which you already talked about, should be in the sense of a Havi or a mantra or a stuti here. But then there's a Vartikam which extends that part. It says Pragdivyateshu tadhiteshu sarvatra, means in any meaning Pragdivyateshu, which means all the way up to Pragdivyas, which we have been looking at, which was 442. So in any meaning given up to the word Divyat, which is 442, this one, Tena Divyati Kanati Jayati Jatam. In any of these meanings, if you have the Prakriti Agni, Pratyaya dhak only has to be used. So now we extend this application of dhak to Agni, to the word Agni, in the sense that, well, incidentally, this sutram Agnir dhak is given as an example that you add the Pratyaya to the word Agni. This is a Shabda Shastram. Not like you take the Pratyaya dhak in your hand and go to Agni. Your hand will be burnt if you go to Agni with dhak in your hand. So it is after that to the word Agni, not to Agni means to the word Agni. So it says that now we can add in any meaning all the way to Pragdivyat. So now when you say Agneriyam dik, we can say, we can now say Agneyi dik. So this, in short, this Pratyaya dhak is added to Agni and Kali also, Agni Kalibhyam, in any meaning, all the way up to 442. So not only Sasya Devata, which is confined to a Havi or mantra or stuti, now we can extend that. So under 4233, also under 428 is Vartikam Sarvatra Agni Kalibhyam Dhak Vyaktavyaha Vartikam. Then we can say Agnina Drishtam Agneyam, Tena Drishtam, which is something which is perceived or conceived by Agni, maybe like a Sama mantra or something in the Veda, which is Agnina Drishtam Agneyam. It's a mantra, Vedic mantra, which was first perceived by Agni. So it becomes Agneyam. Then Evam Agnau Bhavam Tatra Bhavaha Sutram. Then Agner Agatam. Then Tata Agatam. So all these Agnehe Swam Tasyedam, all its meanings that can be used, right? So it says, because Tatra Bhava was coming where? Tatra Bhava is coming. I hope you're recalling some of these rules now. So it's talking about 4353 was what Tatra Bhava. And Tasyedam was coming in 43120. So any meaning up to 442. So that we can use. Let me try one more thing here. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. 1 second, please. 1 second, please. I don't know why this is coming here. Okay. 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 I think that I'm trying to find one thing here. Give me 1 second, please. Tena divyate, tena proktam, tena nirvritam, tena raktam ragat. Okay. Anyway, so this is yeah, drishtam sam. I'm sorry. So this one is also the meaning in 427. See, 4 to 7 is talking about. Let's look at this now. Let's look at this. But the example I gave here is that tena iti titya samarthyad drishtam sama sminarthe yatha bhitam pratyabhavati yad drishtam sama chetad bhavati. So, which is krauncham sama. It's a mantra from the Sama Vedaha, which was perceived by that person. So when you say Agnina Drishtam Sama Agneyam, we can use that Agner Dhak. So even though Agner Dhak came in the Adhikara of Sasya Devata, we are now extending that to all meanings up to 442 on the basis of the Vartikam, which comes under 428, also under 4233. So it says that so this 427 is Drishtam Sama. It's talking about a sense of seen. So the portion of the Sama Veda seen or revealed by somebody, revealed to somebody, seen by or revealed to, whatever. So the examples which are given here is that which are given is the this one would be Agnina Drishtam Sama Agneyam. This will be 427. 427 will be used. Pratyal we use Agner Dhak only based on the Vartikam 427. Then Agna Bhavam Tatra Bhavaha. This will be. See now how all these meanings are coming. 4353. We have to get used to some of these meanings now. 4353. Then Agne Ragatam. Okay, now this must be another meaning. So like Maheshwara Sutrani. Maheshwara Agatani Maheshwara Sutrani. How about that? We use it all the time, don't we? So where would that be? That must be Tata Agatam. So that will be somewhere here. So it will be somewhere between. It will be in the Shesha Adhikaraha. So it will be between 4353 and 43120. We'll have this sutram somewhere. So let's find it here. Tatra Bhavaha. It will be Tasya Vyakhyanam. It should be somewhere here now. Tata Agata. Look at this one. Tata Agata. Some which has come from that. So Maheshwarad Agatani Sutrani Maheshwarani Sutrani. That is the Pratya Pragdivyato An. So add the Pratya An in the sense of Tata Agataha. So 437. Again, this is not in the book. It's giving you some extra flavor. So 4374 would have been used here. That Agnera Agatam would be something which has come from Agni. 4374. Then Agne has some with Tasyedam. So what we're trying to illustrate here is that in any meaning, as long as the Prakriti is Agni, as long as the meaning is some meaning up to Pragdivyat and Pratyar Dhak only will be used on the basis of the Vartikam. Without the Vartikam, you use Dhak only in the sense of Sasya Devata. So Sarvatra Dhak Yeva Bhavati Agneyam. Okay, so that completes this page. This page was a complicated page. I must say there were a lot of issues on this page and I tried to cover them as best as I could. I hope I didn't confuse you in some places. Like Samajika was a problem, Vaidika was a problem, then Vaishnava was a problem. I mean, the word Vaishnava was a problem, Shaiva was a problem. So all of these we had to grapple with this number of issues. Anyway, so I think this completes this page. And even here, this you have to change this one also, as a matter of fact. Agneyaha, you have to change this one because it's not only devotee for deity. It is in any meaning up to Pragdivyat. And here also Chanakya is not the son of Chanaka, it is a Gotrapatyam only. So anyway, so finally I believe this page is now complete. Let's go to the next page, which is this is going to be more straightforward now. There's not complications here. I think the rest of this book, if I might say, is going to be quite, I think, let's see. I think it's going to be mostly straightforward. Okay, so let's look at this one now. Abstract nouns, because in the book, as I said, he's organized by Pratyaha. So he's talking about Pratyaha Shyai. So this is in fact not the Pratyaya Yai, it's Pratyaya Shyai. Pratyaya Shyai. So make that note in the book, please. I think he's under Yai, he's also included Pratyaya Shyai is included. So we're on top of the page now. We're top of page 110. Sorry, God, no, 145. I'm sorry, page 145. We are number 209, but page 145. To form this was called Tasya Bhavaha. So Samasya Bhavaha. samyam, sundarasya bhava saundaryam, murkhasya bhava morkhyam. So what is that? Now we're jumping to a different adhikara. Now we're going to adhikara of tasya bhavastatalo. I think we had looked at that briefly in the prior page. We were looking at this one. Shishor bhavaha shaishavam you talked about, surabhir bhavaha saurabham, etc. So that time we looked at that. Let's look at it one more time. So now we are on top of page 145. We're trying to form these words samyam and saundaryam and morkhyam. It's a very, 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 very nice adhikara. I would highly recommend that you please study this adhikara. There are a lot of words in the language which comes in the, like klaibyam mas. Okay, let's inaugurate Gita for today. Klaibyam masmagamaf partha naitatvayipapadyate kshudrabhidavadarbalyam tyaktvottishta parantapa ajunovacha katam bhishamaham sankhe dronancha madhusudana. This comes in, of course, chapter 2. Chapter 2, number 2, 2.2. So when you think of the adhikara of 2. I mean shloka 2.2, klaibyam masmagamaf partha. So here you can think about that. In fact, in chapter 16 of Gita, little Gita action for today. In chapter 16 of Gita, there are a number of these you can find there. I think that when we give the Guna Suchi, the list of attributes or good qualities, when somebody has a Devi Prakriti, says Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Dhanandamascha Yajñascha Swadhyastapa Arjavam. This one, Arjavam, Rujor Bhavaha Arjavam, straightforwardness, Arjavam. Ahimsa Satyam Akrodas Tyagashantira Paishunam. So Paishunam. So Apaishunam. And then comes Daya Bhuteshwaro Aloluptvam, this Tvam, again Tva, Totalo, Mardavam, Achapalam, so Chapalam, and so on. So you'll find a number of these. This is a nice section also. You can find some examples over here. So this is the adhikara of Tasya Bhavas Totalo, Tasya Bhavas. We're going to see a little more in the next class also, because in this book now, in the next section, we are going to look at this in detail. We'll do some today. Continue next time on page this one. We're going to look at all these nice forms over here. So this 2.2110, you talk about in detail about this adhikara tasya bhavaha. Right now, we're only looking at these two rules, 5.1, 123, 124. So adhikara over here, tasya bhavastvatalav, that goes from 5.1, 119 up to end of 5.1. This is a short section. There's only 18 rules over here. They're very important rules, 18 rules. So see, this is what I'm saying is Tadita Adhikara has more than 1,000 rules. But what we should try to do is that take some of these sections which are important, in the sense of, so Bahushu Staleshu, Prayujyante Ete Pratyaha. So these pratyas are used in many places in the language. So this one is now, from today onwards, should be something which you understand well. So if you see a sutram in the number from 5.1.119 to 5.1.136, then 135, 136, then you know it's tasya bhavaha. Okay, so thatness, the state of that, the intrinsic property of that, So let's look at what we have here. We're looking at these two rules, 5.1, 123, 124, and we have here, okay. Varna Dridadibhyaha Shaicha. So Varna means Varnavachaka Shabdha, like Shukla, Krishna, etc. Color, a word denoting color. So Varna, Dridadibhyaha, Dridhadi Ganaha. It's a set of ganas. This is thing of Tadita, all these ganas. So you don't know, you have to unfortunately keep the Gana Patha by your side to see which words are there. But a word meaning color, in the sense of color, or in the word in the sense of, in the list of the Dridhadi list, it's Pratya Shaicha. Means Shaicha. Means Varnavachi Visheshavachibhyaha Prajapatikebhyo. Because we are adhikar of Nya Pratipadika, of course. Dridhadibhyascha Shai Pratyabhavati Chakarad Imanich. So Imanich Pratyab we're going to see in the next, we'll see maybe today in next class. Imanich. Let's look at this section 5.1.123 where we are. We are over here, and in the just the prior sutram we had Prithvadibhya Imanijva. We're going to see this very shortly. We're going to see in the next point in the book. We're going to look at this sutram. So Prithvadibhya imanijva, and then Varna Dridhadibhya Shaincha. So Cha means Chakarat imanij. So we can get imanij also. So what we have here is that we have these so Varna Vishesha Vachibhya Pradipadikebhyo Dridhadibhyascha Shain Pratyabhavati Chakarat imanij Tasya Bhava iti tasmin Vishaye Shuklasya Bhava Shauklyam. So the whiteness is Shauklyam. So how do you get? We get Shukla plus Nyas plus Pratyaya Shai, because in the sense of Tasya Bhavaha, intrinsic property, the state of thatness. So we get Varna because of Varna Vachaka, Varna Vishesha Vachaka Shabdaha, Dridhadibhya, it's not Dridhadigana, but it's a Varna Vachaka Shabdaha, Shaicha. So we get the word Shuklima. We get the word Shuklima or Shauklyam. Shuklima, we'll derive Shuklima shortly. Right now let's look at the word Shauklyam. So Shukla plus Nyas plus Ya. So we get usual Anubandha Lopaha by Halantyam and Shaf Pratyayasya, the Adi Shakara, Shaf Pratyayasya. So we'll get so Shaf Pratyayasya is, let's not forget our basic rules. So 136, Shaf Pratyayasya 136 is over here. So Adirni to Davaha Shaf Pratyayasya. So we get the Murdanya Shakara gets the Sanya. And then of course Pradipadik Sanya Kritya Samasa Supodhati Pradipatikayoho Adi Vriddhi by Yasyiti by Taditeshva Shama Adehe. Then Angam gets the Bhasanya Yasyiti Cha Akar Lopaha Shauklyam. These steps are all the same over. That's the good news. Good news is that once you figure out which sutram to bring, which pratyaya and what meaning, rest of it should be mostly straightforward. So you get the word Shauklyam. And in the word these are used mostly in the neuter. So Shauklyam will be neuter. Similarly, Murkhasya Bhava Maurkhyam. The Murkha will be in the Dridhadigana. So let's look at the Gana. Maybe it's listed there. This Varna Dridhadibhyascha. So this is number 51122. 51123. I'm sorry. Let's see if he's there in that Ganaha. So we got Dardhyam. Dardhyam is firm. So Dardhyam is firmness. Dardhima. Dridhatam. Dridhata. So we also get so we get this four form. So we get that we get Dardhyam. We get Dridhima. We're going to derive this Imanish Pratyaya. We're going to see it in detail shortly. And then Dridhatam by the main sutram 51119 Tasya Bhavastvatalo and Dridhata. So we get this four form. Dardhyam, Dridhima, Dridhatam and Dridhata. Okay, and then let's say Murkha. Murkha is here. Like Madhuryam, right? Madhuryam, Pandityam. So Badhiryam, Jadat, so Jadyam, Shaityam. So, so and so on, Lavanyam. How about that? Lavanyam. And all these rules are coming from this one over here. So, Murkhasya Bhavaha Maurkya means foolishness. Foolishness, because in the Dridhadiganaha Murkha is here. Steps are all the same. So, we add that. So, that is for this section. Now comes the next sutra, which is Guna Vachana Brahmanadibhya Karmanicha, which extends the meaning to not only Tasya Bhavaha, but also Karmani, Tasya Karmanicha. So means the profession or the job or the activity of that thing. So the Gunavachana and Brahmanadibhyaha. So these words will take not only, so Brahmanadir Akriti Ganaha, it's Akriti Ganaha, which means that this is an extendable list. So not only which are explicitly in the Brahmanadi Ganaha, but which can now be also extended beyond that. So, but these pratyas will be used not only Tasya Bhavaha, but Karmanicha, sense of Karmani api. So that is what this sutram is saying. So the meaning of this sutram is that the affix Shai has has after a word expressive of quality. So quality, words which meaning, so gunavachana, meaning a quality, and after the brahmana, etc. words, they give the sense of activity or occupation of something or someone. So it can be used in the sense of bhavaha, or sense of occupation, activity, like paurohityam, purohitasya karma paurohityam. This gunavachana is a complicated term. I must warn you right now, it is not a very straightforward term. Just saying quality for time. If let's not spend too much time in the class today on that. If you want to look at any of these technical terms, see, gunavachana, main thing is that these are not participles. It is, gunavachana is something with the quality of that thing or person. It's not something which is due to an action which he's doing. Like we say what a pachakaha. This is not a gunavachana. Pachaka shabda. Gunavachanam is because pachaka, he's a cook. He's a cook because he's doing the action of cooking. It's not that he has some intrinsic quality. So it is not on basis of activity. It is the quality of that thing or person. But this can get complicated. I can give you just a quick reading from Abhyankar's book, Professor Abhyankar's book. Very nice books. If you want to look at the word gunavachana in more detail, it is, let's see what he says. Gunavachana. The properties residing in a substance, just as whiteness, etc., in a garment, which are different from the substance. So the whiteness can be in other substances also. The word guna is explained by quotations from the Mahabhashyam and so on and so forth. He goes. So anyway, this is a sattve niveshite apaiti prathak jatishu drishyate. So which means that it is like you can have a white cloth, you can have a white car, you can have a white this. So this gunavachana. So that is a property of that. Anyway, it says, and akriya jascha. It should not be something would be based on the activity of that person. So for time being in the class, just keep like a quality, not based on the activity. That is gunavachana and brahmanadibhya karmanicha. So any word in the gunavachana, quality word, or a word in the brahmanadi gana, which is extendable gana. So akritya ganyate, akriti ganaha. So which means that it is gana which is, if you see a shishta prayagaha, you see the pratyaya shai being used in the sense of tasya bhavaha or atva karmani, then we have to understand this is a brahmanadi ganaha. So purohitasya bhavaha karmava paurohityam. So paurohityam can be the state or the thatness, so the priestness, the intrinsic property of a priest or the state of a priest. Or it can be the activity, the profession of a priest, paurohityam. The steps are all the same. Okay, the steps are going to be all the same over here. Nothing special. So you do the Anubandha Lopaha and then Suplok and then Adivriddhi and Yasyaticha, all the same steps. So we got Paurohityam. Now what's this? There is so I think this completes this section of this book, which says over here is Sundarasya. Why same thing? Saundaryam, Samyam, Samasya Bhavaha Samyam, Saundaryam, Maurkyam, etc. So now what's happening here is that, let's just clarify one thing before we close this point in the book, is that here we have two ganas over here. We have the Dridhadi ganaha and we have the Brahmanadi ganaha. Dridhadibhya shaicha, which means imunich can also be used, Dridhadi ganaha. Brahmanadi ganaha, imunich is not being prescribed, only shai is being prescribed in the sense of bhave atva karmani. So we have to be careful with Dridhadiganaha and the Brahmanadiganah. Dridhadiganaha, one more time, prescribing the pratyaya shai only in tasya bhavaha, meaning, but also prescribing the pratyaya imanich, which came from the prior sutra. The Brahmanadiganah, pratyaya is prescribing only the pratyaya shai, but in two meanings. It can be either in tasya bhavaha, also meaning meaning of karmani. So that is the two things. Please keep these two in Dridhadigana and Brahmana. Don't confuse these two. One more time is that Varna Visheshava Chibhya Pratipadikebhya Dridhadibhyascha Shai Pratyabhavati Chakarad Imanicha Tasya Bhava Itasmin Vishaya. So only Tasya Bhava Iti Etasmin Vishaya. Only that one meaning. Brahmanadiganaha is prescribing Brahmanadis is this only the pratyaya, this vritti is straightforward. Only pratyasha is coming. Imanich is not coming in the Brahmanadi Ganaha. So, so it says that Gunavachanebhya Brahmanadibhyascha tasyeti shashti samarthebhya karmani abhideye shay pratyabhavati chakarat bhavecha. Okay, so now when you see a word like sundarasya bhava saundaryam or samasya bhava, saundaryam means beauty, samyam, unless the pratyaya imanich is going to be used like sundarima, which are, then you can put in Brahmanadi Ganaha. So if the only Shai is being used and Brahmanadi is Akriti Ganaha, so you may not find in the Brahmana, you can look at the Brahmanadi Ganaha. Well, let's look at it for 1 second. Look at the Brahmanadi Ganaha, see what we find over there. But is it Akriti Gana anyway? So we don't have to worry too much about the Brahmanadi Ganaha. We have word like, here we have Chapala, Chapalyam, then Kaushalyam, and so on. A lot of these words are there, So, these are all Naipunyam. So, I mean, Alasyam. How about that? Alasyam. Like, so these are all here. So, now, what it's saying is that coming back to the book, to form the word Saundaryam, we can look at the Drudadigana also for 1 minute. Drudadibhyascha. Drudadibhya, what do we have? Drudha, Parivrudha, Bhrisha, Krisha, Chakra, Rama, Lavana, Tamra. No. So first, if you want to get Pratyaya Shai only, Brahmanadigana is Akriti Ganaha, and we are fine. So we can put these in the Brahmanadigana even if they are not there. So Samasya Bhavaha Samyam. Make a correction, this Pratyaya Shai, please, not Yai, but Shai. Shai Pratyaya has a Samyam, Saundaryam, Morkhyam. Now Morkhyam, this one, Morkhyam we looked at, I think Murkha was in the Drudadiganaha. So Murkha is here in the Drudadiganaha. Drudadibhyascha. Murkha is here. So this will be from the 51122. I don't see Sundara and Sama over here. I'm not seeing them here. Chiti, Dridha, Parivridha. So they will have to be in the Brahmanadiganaha. So both 51122 and 51123 prescribe Pratyaya Shai, but 51122, if the word is in the Drudadiganaha, it will also take Imanich in the meaning of Tasya Bhava only. Brahmanadiganaha will take the Pratyaya Shai only, but can also take in the meaning of Karmani. Now, in this, so that completes that part of this point over here. These two rules, and Murkha is in the Drudadiganaha. We'll use that one. I think these two, Samyam and Saundaryam, will put in the Brahmanadiganaha. Now, so we will be going to move to point 210. Before we go to point 210, I want to just mention this Vartikam. It's important Vartikam. It says that Chaturvarnadibhya Swarte Upasankhanam Chatvara Eva Varnaha Chaturvarnyam comes in Gita, the famous shloka of Gita. Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhakayoho. So it comes, so Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam. So Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam. Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam. Karma Vibhagashaha Chaturvarnyam Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. Sorry, Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. So Chatvaro Varnaha Eva Chaturvarnyam. So this is coming in Swarte now. So this is so this is also an Akriti Gana. So some words can take the Pratyaya Shai Swarte. Chaturvarnadibhya Swarte Upasankhanam. Chatvara eva varnaha chaturvarnyam. So chaturvarnyam is not the property or the state of chaturnam varnanam bhava. It's not like that. Chatvara eva varnaha chaturvarnyam. So this is again a gana, and it's an akriti gana, as you can tell. So unless, well, it doesn't say that, but we can look at the Ganaha over here. So one more time is that under this Brahmanadi Ganaha, there is a Vartikam which says that the here it is, should be some Chaturvarnadibhya Swartip Sankhyanam. So Chatvara eva Varnaha Chaturvarnyam. So Chaturvarnyam just mean the 4 Varnas. Doesn't mean the state of the 4 Varnas. Doesn't mean the activity or profession of the 4 Varnas. It just means Swarte. Without changing the meaning, it comes here. So it says, Trilokyam. So Trilokyam. So the three words Trilokyam. Trilokyam is not the property or the work of the three words. So Trilokyam is the same as, so it says Triloki become Trilokyam. Triloki become Triloki. So Triloki and Trilokyam the same thing. So Trayanam, Lokanam, Samahara, Triloki. And Triloki and Trilokyam same meaning, and so on. So, and then, so Sena and Sainyam. Sena and Sainyam. How about that one? Sena and Sainyam. Then, so Samipa and Samipyam. So same things coming. Now here, let's see, where is the Tilokyam, Sarnam, Jainam? Let's see. There should be one more over here. Okay, Aupamyam. And so, how about this one? Saukhyam. If all of you who speak Tamil or South language, you know this word Saukhyam, right? Saukhyam va. You all say, of course, that sound like Saukhyam va or something. But it is Saukhyam va. Saukhyam va. In fact, next time you say Saukhyam va, think of this Ganaha, which is this, think of this Vartikam, please. Is this Chaturvarna Dibhya Swartya Upasankyanam. Is that Sukham eva Saukhyam. Saukhyam va. Saukhyam va is Sukham va, means are you okay? Are you happy? Means is there happiness? Means are you okay? Simply means are you okay? Saukhyam va is a greeting that you use, right? So Saukhyam va, this is Sukham eva Saukhyam. And that is because the word Saukhyam is in this Gana. Chaturvarnadibhya Swartya Upasankyanam. Just like Chaturvarnyam. Same thing Saukhyam. Sukham eva Saukhyam. So Saukhyam va is what we mean. Means Sukham va and Saukhyam va, same thing. That is the Swarte Shai. Swarte. So next time you say Saukhyam va, think of this sutram. Gunavachana Brahmanadibhya Karmanicha. And Vartikam Chaturvarnadibhya Swartya Upasankyanam. Sukham eva Saukhyam. Okay, now next point. Now we look at this main adhikara, which you already looked at now, but we'll now start from the beginning because now we are on the next point in the book. We are now on point 210. So besides the pratyaya an and yai, other affixes are used to form abstract. This word means abstract nouns. Tasya bhavaha. So this is the section which I just told you already. 5.1.119 to 5.1.136. Let's look at the first sutram. It says Tasya bhavastvatalo. We already referred to this. Shashtyantat says Tasya. So Shashtyantat. Bhavyarthe. Tva pratyaya tal pratyayascha syat. And then Tvantam klibam talantam striyam iti linganushasanam. Linganushasanam says, like this when it says Lagutvam. Maybe say Gurutvam. So Sheshta. So whatever you might want to say, so that when you add a pratyaya, tva, it is used in the sense of, it's used in the neuter gender. Tvantam klibam. And tallantam striyam, like murkhata, laguta, guruta, so and so on. So all these are coming in the feminine. So this one, Tva antam, tvantam klibam, talantam striyam is in the linganushasanam. When we add a pratyaya tva, those words will be used in the neuter. When we add a pratyaya tal, it will be used in the feminine. Of course, when you use the feminine, first of all, in the tal pratyaya, the lakara is an it by halantyam. Then you have to use ajadyata shtap. I mentioned to you many times, nothing can be used in the feminine unless it's checked by the adhikara of striyam. Ajadyata shtap will be used, and we get the word like laguta, guruta, etc. So that's what we have. Now, what is this word bhavaha? This is just 1 second on bhavaha. We use in the thatness, the state of that. But what does exactly we mean? Prakriti janya bodhe, prakaro bhavaha. When you look at a cow, when you say gotvam or gota, cowness, so something without which, these are the intrinsic properties you can say, without which it cannot be called a cow. Means that when this is a cow, it must have gotvam. Otherwise, that's what, in your mind, when you think of a cow, you think of the properties or the specific state, which something like it has 4 legs, it has horns, it has a hump, whatever, it has a tail, eat grass, whatever it might be, all this together. That is the intrinsic state of that. It says that Prakriti Janya Bodhe. So let's look at the English here. So Bhava refers to characteristic quality or nature of something, also called pravritti nimittam, because that, so once those properties or the qualities are there, then you use the word go, that you use the word cow. So you're using the word cow because those properties which signify a cow are there in that thing which you are referring to. On the basis of using a word, if the basis is not there, there cannot be, the word cannot be, if gotum is not there, the prajapadikum go cannot be used. So what is there in that thing which makes you use, which makes you say this is a cow? That is what we are talking about. That ness, the thingness of that, intrinsicness of that. For example, unless gotam is there, we cannot say gauhu. So gotam is present, it has to be present in all the cows, by the way, not only in this cow. We say, this cow is this cow is brown or white. Okay, that's the problem of this cow, but it is not the basis of using the Prajapatikam go, because it's not there in all the cows. It has to be in all the cows, in all the words signified by that class. In this case, the Prajapatikam is go, so gotam. We say gotam, it will be something which is there in all cows. And unless that is there, we will not say this is a cow. So something as, 3 legs or, whatever else, it will not be a cow. That thing is not there. But just because it is not white doesn't mean it is not a cow, because, it has to be in all cows. So that is one is present in all the cows. So now let's look at this here. It says Prakriti Janya. Prakriti is the go. Prakriti is the base to which are pratyaya. Prakriti Janya bodhe prakaro bhavaha. So tvatal prakriti bhuta gavadi shabdebhyaha. So tvatal prakriti bhuta. So that which is the prakriti, that is the base to which you add tva or tal. Gavadi shabdebhya, which is the word pradipatim go, etc. So that is the prakriti, that is the crude form, that is the base to which you are adding tva or tal. So jayamane go vyakthyadi bodhe prakaraha. So when you, so visheshanam jatyadikam bhavaha. So that special, intrinsic, characteristic quality of that thing. So go vyakthyadi bodhe, by which you are able to tell that this is a cow. So that is what we call as bhavaha. So prakara visheshanam jatyadikam, it's a species. So this, it is a that. So that is, so that is, it's a species of a cow. So prakriti-janya bodhe. So it is something which is born of the prakriti. So when you see a cow, that cowness comes to you. Prakriti-janya bodhe prakaro bhavaha. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Tattva also is similar.
Which one?
Tattva.
Oh, tattva, thatness. Yes, of course, tattva is the same thing. Thatness, intrinsic property of that. Correct, absolutely. The quality of that, the basic quality of that. That's correct. Yes, tattva is.
In Vedanta, they use it a lot.
Yes, tattvam. Yes, tattvam is the same thing. Tattvam means thatness. Yes, the basic property of that. Without which that is not there. It has to be in all of those. So these two things. Correct. Tattvam is, yes, correct. Sorry, you can say, anyway. So that is what is. So prakriti janya bodhe prakaro bhavaha. So prakriti janya bodhe, which is coming from, it is born from this prakriti. So prakriti means that it should go, etc., which is the base to which adding the pratyaya. Janya bodhe. So in the understanding of that prakriti, prakaraha, the speciality, the intrinsicness, the attribute of that, it's called bha. So visheshanam, speciality. So that is called. So it is so. So it is. So basically, it is something which all the cows share, but nothing more than that. We don't. So if we say white, we don't have to be there, but that is not necessary for calling it a cow. So what should be necessary to call it a cow? That is the bhava of that. If something is only spurious, we don't. Then that's not the bhava of the cow. Okay. So jayamane. So tvatal prakriti bhuta. Gavadi shabdebhya, so these words go, etc., which is the prakriti to which you add tvartal. Jayamane go vyaktyadi bodhe. So vyaktyadi bodhe means by which you recognize that this is the cow. Prakaraha means visheshanam, the special attributes. Jatyadikam, like the species, etc., is called bhava. Anyway, I think you understand the meaning of that. So basically, it's a basis for using that word. Because those qualities there, you call this a cow. And other than, if it's not there, you cannot call it a cow. It's also present in all the cows. Now examples is straightforward. Rajnyo bhava rajyatvam. Rajyatvam, like royalty. Royalty. So there's something by which you recognize this is a king. He may have a crown, but he doesn't have to have a crown. What I'm saying is that there is this something about this person by which we know that he is a king. So that is the rajatvam. The rajatvam. So is that so rajatvam, and then once the rest of it straight for rajan plus yes, because tasya bhava. So shashtiyantam, add the pratyatva, because tu and tal can be used. And of course we do this look by supodhatu pradvidikayoho. And here only because what happens is that pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam supting antam padam. Pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam supting antam padam. So this gets the padasanya, because even though we do supluk pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam, we cannot stop the sanya, and then we get na lopa prajvadikantasya, we get rajatva. And we talked about twantam klibe. Twantam klibam talantam striyam. So we'll be declared like one shabda, we get rajatvam. Okay. Now similarly shuklasya bhava shuklata, whiteness. Whiteness. We can also get shauklyam, we can also get shuklima, we can also get shuklatvam, also get shuklata. We just talked about, because varna dridadibhya, varna dridadibhya. So this is varna vachaka shabda. So this we can also use the pratyaya shainya rimanich, but we can also use tva and tal. So we got this one. So we can use by 5 and 123. We'll get this total 4 form: shuklatvam, shuklata. Shuklata when you form again same thing, shukla plus nyas, because tasya bhavaha. Let's not forget, this samarthanam prathamadva. So this one is tasya bhava. Tasya is coming first in the sutram. So prathamadva. So shukla will take the pratyaya. So shukla plus nyas and tal. Anubandha, the tal means halantyam tasya lopaha. Then supluk, and then ajadyata shtap, talantam striyam ajadyata shtap. And then we get, of course, chutu halantyam. And then akasama dirghaha. Shuklata. The steps are nothing special. These are very straightforward. Nothing really special here. Just, anubandha lopaha and supluk. That's it. And pratyaya tap on top of it. Now, achatvat. So, now it says that brahmanastvaha ityatah praktva talau adhikriyate apavadaihi saha samaveshartham idam. You might ask, now when we did the word shukla, how do we get 4 forms? We got the shai and the imanich, because we had the cha in the sutram. So varna dridha dibhya shai cha. But how come the word you can? But then is not apavada for tva and tal, tvatalau? No, because achatva, the sutram 5.1.120 is telling us, 5.1.120 is telling us that brahmanastvaha ityatah praktvatala vadhikriyete apavadaihi sah samavesharthamidam. So up to this end of this adhikara, we basically up to 4.1, well, just one short of that. But if you look at this brahmanastvaha, so up to that sutram, which is the last sutram in 5.1, brahmanastvaha, until that sutram, basically up to here. So this tva and tal will coexist with the apavadas. So when you say word shukla, even though shukla is a varnavachaka shabdaha, and therefore we're going to use the varna dridha dibhya shaicha, we'll get shai. So chakara balat imanich, we'll also get tva and tal because of achatvat. Achatva says up to, means up to the word tva, which is the tva means brahmanastvaha. So we can with so this pratyas tasya bhavastva talau, tva and tal will coexist. So coexist, it says apavadaihi saha samavesha, you include them, include with the apavadas. Okay, now time is running out. We're going to look at this sutram. We just looked at this one. Just we looked at this one, which is the varna dridhadibhya shaicha. The anantaram purvam sutram, the immediately prior rule is prithvadibhya imanichva. Prithvi. Sorry. Prithvadi. Prithu adi. excuse me, so Pruthu Adi. Prithvadibhya imanijva. Imanijva. So what's it's doing is that is they can use a pratyaya imanij. So let's look at the Vritya Sutram. So it says Bhave Prithvadibhya imanij pratyajita pratyavasyat. So it says, so Vavachanad, Vavachanam, Anadi Samaveshartham. So now, so the Anadi Pratyaya, so Anadi Samaveshartham. So it says, so it says Imanichva. So we had this prior, let's look at this one more time. In fact, you know what we'll do is that we will take the, maybe we'll, you know what, let me do this. Let's look at this section over here. And let me give you some homework because we're coming to the end of our time over here. So what we're going to do next time is that we're going to look at this detail in this Imanich. Imanich we're going to look at 5.1.122, which is Prithvadi Imanichva. We'll look at 5.1.122, Prithvadi Imanichva. And then we'll also look at the Sutram, which is 5.1.123, Varnadradibhya Shaincha, because Cha, even though we finished with Shai already, but because we're going to use Imanich, we're going to use this Cha also. So basically, we look at 5.1.122, 123 detail in the next class. And what's going to happen is that once Pratyaya Imanich comes, that brings along with it a section which I wanted to give you for homework to you. Is that there is a section in the Bhasya Adhikar. When you add the Pratyaya Imanich, Angam is going to get the Bhasanya by Yachibham. In fact, you know what? Let's look at just one quick example. Is that if you look at, okay, Pruthor Bhava Pratima. Pruthor Bhava Pratima. Now, so because why we doing Pruthur? Because Pruthvadibhya Imanichva. So we look at in detail next time again. So Pruthu is large or wide. So Pratima is wideness, largeness, So, so what it means Pratima. So what we do is that first we had the Pratyaya Imanich by Pruthvadibhya Imanichva. So we are using 5.1.122. And so we got Pruthu plus, we got Tasya Bhava, so Shashtiyantam, Pruthu plus Myas, Imanich, and then Anubandha Lopaha Upadesh Jananasikayit, and then Halantyam, we get Iman, and then after that, we get Supluk by Supodhatu Pradipitikayoho. Then comes a special rule, which is 64161, 64155. So what I want to give you for homework is this section, which if you can just revise, then in next class we can go quite fast. This is a subset of the Bhasya Adhikara. Bhasya starts from 64129. We call it Bhasya start. When we add Imanich, we are going to get the Bhasanya because Pratyaya will be Ikaradi. So Yachibham. And so there is Adhikaraha Turishthe me Yassu. So from 6.4, so this is the homework. From 6.4.154 to 6.4.163. If you can look at this Adhikar, it's this section I should say. So because this prescribes special rules. This is Angakaryam now. It's only for the Angakaryam. The Sutram we're going to use is of course the 5.1, 122, 122, or 123. As the case may be, to bring in the Pratyaya Imanich. Now, as I told you that, why do we need two rules? In fact, let's look at this one. I know time's running out. So, let's look at these three rules and understand clearly. Prithvadibhya only Imanichva. And Varnadradibhya Shaicha. We can use Shai or Imanichva. But in the same meaning, tasya bhava, iti etasmin arthe. Now, brahmanadibhya can get the pratyaya Shai only, not Imanicha. And of course, tasya bhava etasmin arthe atva karmanicha. When talking about Imanicha, we have these two rules to look at only really. 5.1.122, 5.1.123. So we'll use that. So basically, if Shai is also possible, then we have to look at this Varnadradibhya. If Shai is not possible, then we are going to look at the Prithvadiganaha. Either way, we got the Pratyay Imanich, but when the Pratyay Imanich come, there is a special Angakaryam, and that is the homework, which is from 6.4.154. Turishthe me yasyu tuhu ishta imanich. So turishthe me yassu. So anivritti of ishthe me yassu. So ishtan pratyaha imanich and yasun. So right now we look only imanich. So when these three pratyas follow, right now we want imanich. Then what all happens to the angam is given in this section, which is a subset of the Bhasyadhikara, from 6.4.154 to 6.4.163. So there are 10 rules from Turishthe me yassu up to Prakrityaikach. So please study for homework these three. In fact, for homework, if you can try to derive all, you should be able to derive all these forms. Pratima, Mradima, Dadhima, Krashima, and Brashima. Use 6.4.161. For the Prema and Garima and Draghima, use 5.4.157. For Mahima, use 5.4.155. For Rasima, used 6.4. I'm sorry. 6.4. I'm sorry. Not 5.4. 6. Yes, sir.
Satish ji, could
Yes.
you go to your whiteboard where you have example for Agneya?
Agneya, okay. Give me 1 second. Let me just finish. Yeah, I'll go back there. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'll go there.
Okay. Take
So,
your time.
yeah, so basic homework 6.4.154 to 163. Okay, and we just did just now. We'll do it next time again. Is this form Pratima? We are going to use 6.4.155, 166. You can try for homework on your own to derive this from 6.4.155, 6.4.161. Then for homework, Pratima, Mradima, Dadhima, Krashima, Brashima, use 6.4.161. For Prema and Garima and Draghima, use 157 of 6.4. For Mahima, use 155. For Rasima, use 156. Okay, so from 6.4.154 to 163, Angakaryam. And thank you, Vasudha. Okay, yes, sir. Go ahead. So Agneyaha. Okay, go ahead.
Agneya.
Let me go back there 1 second. By the way, thank you for looking at the daily comments, but they're very useful. So Surya ji always checks the daily post. If any of you can check the daily post and let us know of any errors, please do that, because we cannot catch all the errors ourselves. So all these daily examples which come to you, if you see any typos, send a quick email that it won't go to the group. Don't worry. If you send an email, it doesn't go to the group directly. It comes to us first, and then only it goes to the group. So if you see any typos in a daily example, like any of these daily examples, if you see any typos, just give us a quick email. That's just send a short email. Something wrong in this answer, or something missing, or just double check. That's all you need to say. Then we will double check and correct, because we want to keep that. See, this thing is not going to become correct by just us looking at it. Unless all the students check it out, you cannot get Shuddhata. How about that? Shuddhatam na jayate. You cannot get Shuddhatam. So please, if you check these daily examples and anything doesn't look right, something may be wrong, just put a comment, just add a comment, and just say something may be wrong in this step, or this step is missing. Sometimes the numbers might be off a little bit. I mean, we try to do as good a job as we can, but of course we can't catch everything. So please do check and just send a quick comment. It will not go to the group, so don't worry. Even if your comment is may not be proper, it doesn't matter. It's only going to come to us. It will help us in correcting the errors. Okay. Okay. So which Suryaji does very nicely all the time. So thank you. Agneya. Okay, I'm here, sir. What is the question? Go ahead.
No, Agneyam, no, you have 2 or 3 things.
Yes, I had down here, which I said, Agnina Drishtam Agneyam Sama.
Yeah, that says after Swam, 4-3-1-20.
Ah, yes. See, he's good at catching errors. See, the one thing I put in the class, I make it. Look at me. Yeah, yes. Thank you. Yes,
And
yes,
then
yes.
other thing, question.
This is Tasyedam, by the way. Tasyedam. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Chanakya was
Chanakya.
not, Chanakya was not the son of Chanaka.
No, he will not be. No, he'll be.
No,
He'll be.
you don't have to go there. It's just a question.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it is proved by this sutra Gotra Apatyam.
Gotra
But
Apatya.
in reality,
Uh-huh.
Chanakya is son of Chanaka, isn't it?
No, he cannot be. He'll be Chanakya otherwise. See, son of Chanaka, like Dashratahi, like Gargihi, like Dakshihi, should be Chanakya. He will not be Chanakya.
But in reality, in history, Chanakya is son of Chanaka.
No, I don't think so. We can check if you want, but I don't think we can, at least unless there's some other special sutram, maybe. Let's see. I don't think it may not give an apte. It may not give an apte because so let's see. Celebrated also known as no Kautilya, no, because he should be Chanakya. He will not be Chanakya. Like we did Gargaha, Gargihi, and then Gargya only Gotrapatyon because the sutram yahi yoscha. If in fact, let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me see that sutram Gargadibhyoi. Let's see if Chanaka is in the sutram. If it is there, then it will prove that Chanakya is not the son of Chanaka. It will only be. That's why this event. I'm sorry we spent so much time in the class. Last 2 classes we spent a lot of time understanding what is Gotrapatyam, what is Yuvapatyam, because these words are used a lot. I mean, not a lot, but not in today's day and world. If you want to understand, So let's look at it 1 second. Gargadibhyo yai. Let's see if the word Chanaka may be here by any chance. Chamasa. Can you see Chanaka here anywhere? Gargadibhyo yai. Dhumaha. I think Shakalya was here somewhere. Shakala. How about Shandilya? Here Shandilya becomes Shandilya. Maudgalya. I think this comes Tetri Upanishad. Maudgalya. Parasharya is also there. He may not be here, but let me see. Gargya, of course, is there. Paulastya. How about that? Paulastya. Ravana. Paulastya is there. So, how about this one? Dhaumya. Dhumasya. Dhaumya. I think he was the Acharya of the Pandavas, right? Dhaumya. So, I'm not seeing Chanakya. Let me just give me 1 more second. I know time is up. Chanakaha. See, sometimes, these may not be used exactly as they are supposed to. So, there could be a case, that maybe it is not. But otherwise, grammar-wise, son of Chanaka should be. By the way, Shakala is here. Shakala is here. So, Shakalya is here. So, Shanku, Mukshu, Bhabru, Bhuta. I think Shakala was here. So, Shandila, right before Shandila. So, where was Shandila? Here was, I think he was here. Kandvaha. So, Shandila, and then Yadnyavalkya is here. He is here. So, Shakala is here. Shakalya. But I'm not seeing Chanaka. Give me 1 second. Okay. Chata, Dhuma, Avata, Chamasa is here. Dhananja, Manasa, Vriksha, Chanaka. But anyway, in the book he has given Chanakya. So I'm assuming that he's probably in this Ganaha. Because this is the only sutram I can look at. I can. Okay, Rahugana. Okay. Let me do some homework and look at Nagaraj is asking me. Yes, sir.
Chanaka is there in.
Oh, here it is. Where is it?
In
which line? Which line?
I don't know the line. It's 72. 72. Chanaka.
Give me one after. Who's after that?
After Shandila.
After Shandila. Okay, Shandila was somewhere here, right? Shandila,
Varnaka, and then Chanaka. They're also Chanaka.
Oh, so you know what? This is the thing about this Ganas, I told you, this Gana Sutram. I mean, Ganapatha is antique. Unfortunately, the Ganapatha it doesn't, The problem is that Ganapatha doesn't always tally, it requires some some good editors. See,
Actually,
because
this is from the Srish Chandra Vasu's book.
I'm looking at, give me 1 second, I'll look at it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, Vasu has the word Chanaka in there. While the Kashika, at least the Kashika which I have, is not saying Chanaka. Let me just look at it. Yeah, Shandila is there, Vana is there. Yeah, but see, this Kashika doesn't have Chanaka. Now that's the problem. This Ganapatha is like that, It is not in a very good form. So we have to
Sateshji, I have
Yes.
another question.
Okay, hold on. Let me just put this one to rest 1 second. Yes, see the book in Vasu has Shandila, Vanaka. Oh, he has a Patabheda of Varnaka and Chanaka. Oh, okay. So what has happened is that in this after Shandila, they put Varnaka and see this one says Varna, but they have put Varnaka and Chanaka. That's what they have put these two. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Musala. Yeah. So here this says Vana, but Vasu says Varanaka and yeah, Varnaka Chanaka. Okay. Yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, so it is there by extension, I guess. Okay, what's the next question, sir? Go ahead.
The Gotra. No, I
Gotra.
understand. Yeah, the Gotra, meaning of Gotra.
Gotra means Potra Prabhuti. Grandson and
After, yeah, let's look it in after. But no, there are some rishis like Gautama, Kashyapa, etc.
Yes.
The Gotra came from them, not some Mula Purusha like Dasharatha.
But that is the Mula Purusha in that case, won't it be?
No, this from rishis. All Gotras from a set of rishis.
So that's okay. So that is still the Mula Purusha, right?
Yeah, but why this?
Means we say Bhargava. There's so many Bhargavas are there. We say Bhargavaha. So many are there, right? So they are all, in this in the Gotra Patyam. I think they Gotra Patyam from Bhrigu. Remember, Gotra Eko Pratyaha. Eko Gotre Visa Sutram. Eko Gotre, right? So only they'll all be Bhargavas only. So in the Gotra Patyam. So yes, so Bhrigu is the Rishi. From whom all
Just
these.
one rishi or a set of rishis?
I think Bhrigu is I
Like
think as far.
Kashyapa Gotra, Gautama Gotra.
So the Gautama is only one. Bhrigu is only one. I mean, Bhargavas are many.
Yeah.
Bhrigu is only one. There not be multiple Bhrigus. I don't think so now. So Gautama is only one. So I think Bhrigu is only one, but Bhargavas will be many. In Gotra Patya, anybody in the Gotra Patyam of Bhrigu will get all become Bhargavas. I think that's what it is. That's the Bhrigu is the Mula Purusha for Bhargavas. So anyway, okay, sir. So I'll think about that also. So next time, so Chanakya we found the answer. Okay, thank you, Nagarji. And we'll start from next time in this page number 145 for homework. Derive all these forms. Let's do Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Abhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramascha Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Om Nama Iti.